Cloudflare is trying to kill WordPress by their release of what they're calling the spiritual successor to WordPress, which has the internet a little bit riled up. In one side, we have the WordPress diehard fans that think this is a joke. And on the other side, we have a few people that are kind of over WordPress and are looking for a viable alternative that is secure and just as good as WordPress. So in this video, I'm going to try out EmDash and we're going to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly to see if it's worth you swapping from WordPress to EmDash, or if you're building a brand new website, if this is the thing you actually need to look at. Let's get cracking. So on the 1st of April, which probably isn't the best time to release news like this, a couple of guys at Cloudflare kind of released this new website builder CMS, which is this whole thing on top of Astro. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm a big fan of Astro. I've built a lot of websites with it and it's just very quick and SEO friendly. So the fact that they've built this on top of Astro is already a good thing, but there's also some bad things. Anyway, I'll leave a link to the blog announcing this whole thing, but I'm going to go ahead and just build a website with it. I'm not even sure what website we're going to build right now. We're going to do this live. I'm going to kind of follow the same structure that I would when I build an Astro website, because this whole thing is built on Astro. So I'm going to guess that it's going to be a good way to go about it. You can also try this out. They have a little feature where you can see what the backend looks like. You can see it's kind of like copy it, but don't copy my homework, but change it a little bit so my teacher doesn't find out that you copied it kind of thing. They've taken this directly out of WordPress. They even have an import from WordPress button. So instead of just playing and dilly-dallying with the backend, let's build a website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go to the official repo, the GitHub. I'm going to leave this in the link below, obviously. And I'm just going to start a brand new project. Let's go to a folder in my desktop called EmDash example. I'm going to open this in Claude Code. I'm using CMux. I've made a video about this. Don't worry if this looks funky and you're using WordPress. Sorry, if you're using Claude Code in the CLI, this is exactly that. I just like the interface of CMux. So I'm going to open up Claude Code and I'm just going to give it the URL and I'm going to say, I want to build a website using this framework. I first want you to read everything and come up with a plan to understand all the requirements that you need to install so we can build a website with EmDash. I like it to go through everything first. Once we have a successful build, what we can do is then create a bit of a standard Claude MD file for these type of builds, for example. And I'm just going to put this in plan mode, and I'm also going to use Ultra Think. You don't have to use Ultra Think in plan mode, but I think that if you give Claude Code that resource to really think before it acts, it just makes your final output a lot better, or at least it prevents you from going back and forth with Claude saying, no, I didn't want that, I wanted this, and things like that. It just kind of improves the overall output right away. So what I'm going to do to pick a website to do is I'm going to just pick a industry, something like HVAC, for example. That's air conditioning, by the way. I'm actually going to do HVAC in Texas. Let's go Dallas. And what I want to do is go to like the 3rd or 4th page of the organic search results, because that'll show me a website that needs some fixing. And if you're wanting some SEO clients, one way to do it is just rebuild them the whole website, send them a link and say, hey, I built this thing for you. We can easily kind of reroute this to the new website and it'll rank much better. So cool. This is Air Served Dallas. This looks okay. This is in the 4th or 3rd page for that search term. I'm in a different part of the world as well. I'm not in Dallas, so maybe that's got something to do with it. But regardless, it's not ranking well enough. So we're going to use this. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is okay. Let's find even a worse one, because those are sponsored results. Let's go to page 4. Okay. This is a perfect example. This website really needs some work here. Fantastic. Let's work with this one. They've got the services pages, I think, at least. Yep. Cool. Okay, cool. This will be the one. Okay, so apparently I've already got a lot of the prerequisites installed. We're going to do a marketing website. We're going to deploy it recommended on Cloudflare. By the way, one of the down things of this is that if you don't want to host this on Cloudflare, then you don't get a lot of the good things like the speed and stuff like that. So this is kind of, in my book at the moment, a little bit of a lead magnet to get people on Cloudflare, but regardless, let's keep going here. Location, where should the project live? Sure, projects. submit the answers, and let's see what we get. And this, in my opinion, is why you get to Claude to plan with UltraThink. It just kind of has a much better plan already, has everything. It's not guessing. So I'm going to actually tell it, yes, that's the plan, but yes, that is the plan, but we are going to rebuild this site with better SEO. So I want you to explore the website, understand how many pages we need to build, and then we're going to recreate this whole thing with correct title tags, meta description, schema, good content, and best SEO practices. If you need to create images, please do so using the Nano Banana Pro skill. Make sure that you generate a look and feel with the camera type and the focal length that is the same for all the images, so it looks all aligned. Now, what I do like about this is that there is some truth in the article if you read it, and let's go through it whilst this thing gets built. It really kind of says that, sure, this was built, WordPress was built, open source, 24 years old this year, which is a little bit old. However, it does power 40% of the internet. I get what they're trying to do, kind of create a website builder, CMS, whatever you want to call it, from the ground up with AI agents enabled, so you can get AI to build a SEO-friendly website from the ground up, which I like. But this is version 1, and I'm glad it's version 1 because I don't think it'll be enough for most people, but I'm excited to see what they come up in version 2, version 3. Regardless, we haven't even built the site yet, so I should actually get to building the site before I start judging it too much. Great, so it's showing me already some errors that there's 2 numbers on the website. Let's just pick one here. Ideally, you want 1 number, 1 call to action. Not so much because it's going to confuse the user in terms of what they need to do, but you need to keep NAP consistent. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number consistent throughout your website, throughout your Google Search Console. Okay, it's been working for a little while now, about 29 minutes. We can actually see what it's building at the moment. So I've opened this locally. By the way, if you're building anything on Astro and also EmDash, apparently, you can build your website locally, and it's going to be on localhost 4.3.1 by default, just an FYI. Okay, cool. So you can see it kind of changed right in front of us here, just using a little placeholder here. Interesting. We've got schedule services, we've got call right away, HVAC repair services in Garland, Texas. Cool. Okay. These are the services. Ideally, it's going to link to this thing, what our customers say, heating, areas we serve. Cool. Okay. So what was the original site here? So this was the original website already. And I don't like this already because it's way too busy. You don't really know what to click on. The call to action, the buttons are all over the place. The call to action, there's too many. Usually have one call to action, but this isn't a tutorial about how to make a good website. I've done plenty of those. This is a tutorial about how to build this. Already, I don't think it's me just being biased. I'm liking this a lot more. Cool, but let's see how Claude is doing here. It still needs to deploy all the pages, then generate the images with Nano Banana Pro and deploy to Cloudflare. So I'm going to give it another couple of minutes and then come back when I've actually got almost a finished product to show you. Okay, so while this is built, I had a look at the documentation because I was trying to find the kind of admin dashboard or what the URL was for that. And I can see here that if you're developing it, you can open the admin at, localhost 4.3.2.1/EmDash/admin. So I've got that here, and okay, so now I couldn't log in. I need to make an account first, or I'll figure that out with you together live. But now at least we've got some images here. Call to action, little call here. We've got all the other services, things like that. We can improve, the front-end design, but I don't want to concentrate on that at the moment. I just want to have a look at a few things and then check out the CMS and the backend and then see how we can add more pages, or if you were to sell this to a client, the website, how easy is it for them to add a blog post, for example? I think that's really the interesting thing about this, because this really is just for static websites, which for a lot of people, don't hate me in the comments, but a lot of people just need that, to be honest. So let's figure out how to make an account for the backend. How do I log in to the admin? So you can also deploy this, by the way, directly from this GitHub repo. If you've got an account on Cloudflare, you go deploy to Cloudflare, and it'll kind of start doing that for you already. You can create a new GitHub connection, because if you build this website, you actually kind of build it on GitHub, and then the changes you create on GitHub will automatically get deployed to the Cloudflare site, which is not a bad idea. It's also to some people an unnecessary step. Okay, cool. So I can bypass the server apparently. Cool. Okay, so apparently I can just get started. I'm an admin already. Okay, so here's what the backend looks like, which was like the previous backend that I showed you. I've got service area and service pages. So if I go services, these are all the services that I can add here. Water installation. Cool. So then what happens if hang on. Okay, yeah, pages, service areas. Gotcha. HVAC. Home. Okay, so it kind of creates block contents for us already. Can I change this? Marketing features, testimonials, and FAQs. Okay, so it's done some content blogs already for us that we might be able to change. So if I change then the features and the testimonials around, so if I go to features and put that below testimonials, then in the front end of the home page, I should see the testimonials first. Let's just double check that that's the case here. Yeah, testimonials, and then was that what I said? Yeah, testimonials and then the FAQs. What do we have in the front end here? Testimonials and the features. Okay, so what if I add the FAQs? Oh, I see. It's also got a step here. I'm going to add the FAQs first. I'm going to save. I'm going to go to the front end. I'm going to reset this. And I do see the FAQs before. Okay, that makes sense. The service area. So this must all be the heroes. I think so. Hang on. Why isn't that seeing the front end? FAQs. So if I preview here. Okay, little buggy. But I think it's my mistake that I'm not really seeing this right away. Cool. You can add some SEO, title tag, meta descriptions, outline, revisions. Okay. So I'm going to try something a little bit different here. I'm going to just get Claude to generate a blog section on it and see if the generation of the blog end also gets done from a CMS perspective in the backend, so we can add a blog post really easily. Can you generate a blog section for this? So you'd have to map each one of these sections to sections on the website. I guess I understand how that works. So if I go Rockwell, a test, and I go, this is a test, and I publish this, save, and I publish, and I go to service area Rockwell in the site, and I go service areas Rockwell. Okay, I clearly need to do a better job of understanding the builder here and how that works. Okay, so now it added a blog section here. Obviously no blogs because we haven't written any, but that's not really what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the back end, and okay, this is reloading. Good. Can I skip it though? The admin. That was okay. And now if I look at the content types on the left hand side, I've got the blog post as well. It looks like it already generated just some in the back end if I have a look at them. Cool. So a fairly kind of normal blog builder. What makes this interesting is now you can probably generate a connection from any tool you use to write content to this. Because it's kind of open source, it's with Astro. If you have any content writing tool, you could connect this directly. Let's just have a look at the actual blogs now. There you go. It's not bad. What does they look like in the front end? Pretty good. I mean, that's pretty easy to add, to be honest. So this makes it very easy because before you would have to connect a CMS like Payload. If this is a bit confusing, do not worry. But essentially now this makes it an okay solution for building websites easily that you can sell easily to a client. But I want to go through the whole thing now. Let's actually publish it to Cloudflare, right? So we're just going to go, great, deploy to Cloudflare. This is one of the good things here, right? That because I am logged into my Cloudflare account with Chrome, and I know that my Claude Code has access to Cloudflare, it should be able to do everything for me. Like I don't have to upload it there. Like it'll just deploy itself to a staging URL because I'm not going to buy a domain just for this YouTube video. I hope you'll understand why. But I just want to see if it uploads it to Cloudflare in a staging site, then we'll test it live and see what we can find here. So technically it should be up live. Let's just check it here. I'm going to do this live with you for the first time. I promise I haven't checked it before. New tab. Okay, not bad. So very similar process from a website production on what I did with Astro. Now, let's see if we can log into the backend or the admin. Okay, so it seems that for EmDash, any admin is just / underscore EmDash / admin. Let's give that a go. Cool. So now I'm logging in for the first time, I'm assuming. So it's asking me here, site title, test, tagline, YouTube test, no, continue. Your email, okay, let's do that. Create a passkey, okay, cool. So it looks like I'm on the back end now of the staging side in the admin side. Perfect. Okay, cool. So what I want to see now is the last thing is, so I can easily add more pages, more blog posts, more service areas. I can add users. Let's see here. Yeah, so invite a user, role, editor, perfect, contributor. So it's easy to kind of give to a client so they don't have to mess this up. Widgets, okay, content blogs, widget areas, plugins. I think you can import most plugins that you have on WordPress or even create your own here, which will be interesting. So, okay, let's kind of break this down now. So yeah, it works. It's fine. It's on Astro. It's quick. Obviously, the website that we created isn't amazing because we did it in 2 seconds, but let's go through this. So I've built a bit of a checker here so you can go through it with me. So should you kind of swap to EmDash and drop everything that you're doing for this because it's, you know, technically free, or you can do it for free? Right. I think there's a couple of things you need to ask yourself, and we can do this together. So technical skill, are you used to just using drag and drop website builders like Wix or Squarespace and things like that? So if so, we can kind of click there. You can see I've only got 3 points, so -2, because I don't think, if that's the level that you're at, this isn't probably for you. If you can use GitHub, then yeah, great. This is for you. It's okay. The current platform that you're on, WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, Webflow, Astro, and XJS. I'm going to go Astro. I've got a few points in my favor there because if you know how to use Astro, then this will be a lot easier as well. I've done a video on how to do that, by the way. What type of site is it? Is it an e-commerce store? If it is, this probably isn't for you. At least not yet, maybe the next version. And if it's a kind of web application, probably not yet. If it's a blog, a business, simple business website with a Word, like a form submission, that's great. This is kind of good use case for it. Plugin dependency, I think if you have over 10 plugins, this might not be for you. So yeah, there's a couple of points against you. Let's say you only have 1 or 2 plugins, that's okay. And then hosting, if you want near free hosting, which Cloudflare provides, but then again, you're stuck on Cloudflare, I have no problem with that. I'm a fan of Cloudflare. This isn't sponsored, by the way, but so I'm going to say, yep, I want it free, and it's going to give me a few points for that. AI future proving, I mean, yes, this is critical for me, so I'm going to do this. Most of you are going to care about AI search, maybe you don't. So I think before you consider even looking at this even more, if your WordPress website is doing its job at the moment, don't probably swap at all. But if you're looking for a new kind of website build, you're a little bit technically savvy, you can at least build this with Claude Code. How I said, this might be a great solution. You can build SEO optimized websites very quickly with Claude Code and Cloudflare using EmDash. Particularly now, if you want to sell the websites to a client, it's very easy to do so. In the past, I've built websites with Astro, and then connecting a CMS was a little bit complicated. They've just done that automatically. They kind of beat me to it, although I was never really going to do something as kind of complex as EmDash. So I don't think it's a bad idea, but you need to know the negatives. Right? The negatives are, you know, is it as kind of extensive as WordPress where you can do an e-commerce store as well? No. But if you have a simple business, like just a service-based business, you need a couple of services pages and a few areas we serve pages, and you want something free and you want to explore a little bit, not a bad idea. I'd definitely rather this over Wix or Squarespace, let me tell you that. I'll put it that way. Anyway. If you want the whole tutorial of me building an entire website with WordPress and Claude Code, and I show you that I'm actually already ranking that website, I'll leave that in the link below as well. It's really interesting. I think this space of building websites with AI that are actually good from an SEO perspective is really moving very quick. So it's interesting to kind of keep your finger on the pulse of that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.